We're officially into the month of July here in the PGCBL, and it's going to get hotter right now. Who's the hottest team in the PGCBL? Of course, the Sox, baby. And I got two guys. I'm in the middle of a Felician sandwich right now. Two guys from Felician University, guys that have come up clutch, big-time hitters. First baseman, Edwin Tavarez. Outfielder, Chris Fernandez. Guys, welcome to the show. And, I had to get the both of you on. I had to get a package deal.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, same.
So, let's just talk about just the insanity of this winning streak going on right now. Currently, as the time of recording, we're on 12 in a row. Win could set the all-time franchise record. And by the way, the Comets, the hockey team around here, they had a 13-game winning streak earlier this year. But, just talk about this ride over the past couple of weeks, getting on this insanely long winning streak.
Well, for me, coming off like this in the playoffs back with our school, coming in at 6 point straight win. All we did, get some cuts, straight cuts.
It's crazy. Like, you got some dog on the team, like the whole through 1 through 10, everybody just rakes, and we shoot some dogs. Plus the pitchers too is always day in, day out lights up. It's incredible.
So you had a couple close calls during this winning streak, and let's talk about the one where you were the focal point of it against the Newark Pilots. You're down 5-4, going to the bottom of the ninth, and for me, once I saw Drake Sizemore going back on the mound, and he came into the eighth. Once I saw him come back in the ninth, I knew okay, these guys got it. So what was it like watching the rally unfold, and then having you come up with the bases loaded with a winning run 90 feet away?
Yeah, I think we were down by 1, right?
Yeah.
We were down by 1, and just watching everything unfold, everybody getting on base, doing what they need to do, it's just crazy. We're like, when it came up to me, I was like, if it goes up to me, I'm winning this, regardless. I saw Chris here, I remember when he got walked, and he just pointed at me, he said, let's go, and I was like, it was clips. We wanted this.
And I believe that was the first pitch swinging, right?
Yeah.
So,
swinging at anything in the zone.
Yeah, so, what were you seeing, especially with that infield drawn in?
No, I was just trying to hit it hard. I was just trying to hit it hard, going up the middle, so, the advantage towards me.
Really, it's kind of been, easy skating for the most part since then. But I think a big turning point, I guess, if you will, during this winning streak, you get the defending champs in your house for a doubleheader. And you sweep them. Socrates. Yeah, so Socrates comes into your house and you sweep them here. Shut out in the first game. Second game got a little bit tight, but Thurman was out there and he had bases loaded, I believe, with 2 outs. What were you guys seeing that game-ending play? Maybe the web gem of the year from Brady Short.
Yeah. Brady's just a top. He's Brady Short. He's just amazing. He blows my mind every time he goes out there. And then David's just a dog. He goes out there, he gets it done.
And I tell you, he's stone-faced every time he goes out there. You can't really get much emotion out of him. Especially when he's in the game, he's locked in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and obviously we've had some big games since then, beat Mohawk Valley, but let's just talk about us as a second side. First real big home game of the year, first big outing. Fans came out in droves, obviously wearing different jerseys and auctioning them off, for a good cause. All the funds going to the Kelvin Center. What was that experience like? The crowd obviously trumped what you saw opening night, but obviously you must have had extra meaning knowing that, you're playing for something bigger than yourself.
It felt great, especially when people really about the jersey. That's my heart. Because somebody's saying I want to buy some of yours. So
Yeah, it really the crowd really don't know. I haven't seen so many people play against like that. It was a great environment. My parents came out too. They drove up here to see me, so that was good too. It was just amazing. Cheering us on from the first thing to the night. It's just it's just a great fan.
Yeah, and they were great start to finish. Sweet Caroline, they were loud and they were super involved. And obviously they play a big role. And we've only lost one time here all season long up to this point, and it's it's good to know. But I definitely want to talk about the superstition part. But I mean, just talk about the home field advantage you guys have here at Murnane.
Actually great. Never experienced something like this the first time. I get to see it.
Yeah, it's just the home field advantage here. It's just the fans coming out and cheering us on. Like, you know, gives the energy to go out there and play for them, you know. And not only about us, it's about the kids that come out here too and they see, like, you know, they look up to us and they're like coming out here and supporting us. It's great.
So Chris, I saw you knocking on wood. I'm one to knock on wood too, because I'm pretty superstitious myself. But I mean, amongst any sport, most superstitious. I mean, at least team sport wise, it's got to be baseball. So what can y'all say in terms of speaking to, you know, the superstitious aspect of baseball?
All right, let's say somebody gets hit, double home run, you do not move, stay in your same spot. Have to stay in your same spot. So you got like 3 to 4, you gotta have like the same routine you did as 3 to 4.
You gotta remember like the exact spot where you were sitting on the bench.
Nah, not that far.
Okay.
Like you come in, like you do like the same routine, like you eat the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I totally get that.
Wear the same, like let's say if you wear like a sleeve on your right arm or on your left arm, let's say you had like a good day on your sleeve on your right arm, wear the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, trust me, I'm very superstitious. Funny story for you, because I know, you know, you went to college in Jersey. Edwin, you're a Jersey native, so, and I told y'all that I went to Seton Hall, right?
Yeah.
So my sophomore year of college, my school wins the Big East tournament every single night. That's 3 nights in a row: Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. I wore the same exact outfit down to not washing, by the way, the same boxers and the same socks. 3 nights in a row. It's not stupid if it works.
I didn't see you as a Lord fan, but I'll never do that. Respectfully.
Okay, I mean, I wouldn't, you know, I
But
wouldn't.
you didn't watch the boxes?
Nope. Listen, the last time they won a Big East tournament, man, I wasn't even alive. I wasn't alive when that happened. So, I got to speak, especially when you're playing, like, the last 2 rounds, you're playing 2 top 5 teams in the country, especially in Villanova, who went on to win it all that year. You got to go all out.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think you helped them win by winning that?
I mean, obviously not, because I guarantee you, players, they probably have their own superstitions where, like, they're doing it.
Your superstition worked.
I mean, trust me, I do not want to take away any credit to.
So do you do that with us?
I mean, so here's the superstition. I'm gonna, pull behind the curtain right now. So we haven't lost at home since June 10th, right? So what happened was on June 8th, I use a pen that's in the press box to write all my lineups and all that. And I would leave it in the press box. But after the June 8th game, I took it home with me to try to be like a little more logistical, if you will. So what happened was I took it home, and then Friday night we come back and Boonville beats us. And that's when I knew, okay, now I've learned my lesson. So I've left it in the press box after every game ever since. And we haven't lost at home since. So
Shout out to you.
I mean, I don't want to take any. I mean, yeah, Sox got to stay hot. And speaking of, I mean, Heroes Night was recently, and I mean, yeah, the fire truck come through. Obviously, the Sox were so hot, the fire department had to come to put and right now, yeah, they haven't put the flames out yet. And you got to make history tonight with this double header before, as we speak, against Boonville, the only team that's picked you off here at home, and you haven't seen them since then. So is there a little incentive, a little fire lit under you to take it out and get some revenge?
Yeah, of course. Revenge is that's so.
I mean, listen, I'm Timmy Iceman. Of course, I know it's cold. And obviously make history, like 13 and then 14 in a row if it were to happen. And I mean, I feel like these are good, like, I guess I don't want to undermine the competition, but good warm-up competition, because we can't not talk about the Clash of the Titans happening Friday night here in Murnane. Doubleheader with the Amsterdam Mohawks. I mean, y'all have a great 16-3 right now, but Amsterdam, they're one-upping you. They have 3 losses, but they have over 20 wins now. So
So do they have a winning streak?
Nope, they not nowhere near as long as you guys have. So, but that clash of the Titans, though, the top two teams in the league, top two teams in your respective divisions. I mean, what's the mindset? And like, is that one of those things where you're going to wake up a little more energized and ready to send a message to these guys who, they're the staple organization in this league.
Come on with them. Five.
You don't get your 4 hours of sleep, come out ready to play. You look for those moments trying to see where do you stand and compete wise. We should this team us to compete and test our limits and see what we got.
And
that'll be a great test for us.
And I know a talking point in the clubhouse is you look at their roster, which 20 plus guys from Power 5 conferences, and here really don't have as much, but does that kind of give you guys a bit of a chip on your shoulder to show these Power 5 guys up?
I feel like not for me because when I do something I do it for myself.
Right.
I like to play against somebody. I do it for me. I want to one up myself. I want to one up them because I'm not really worried about playing.
Yeah, you're trying to prove yourself more than you are proving proving something against them. It's about proving something for yourself. But obviously, with that competition level so high, I feel like that's got to bring your own competition level.
Yeah, it obviously brings the higher because you're facing somebody that's supposed to be way above you or way better than you. So that puts already a chip on your shoulder to perform. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're facing guys from like a Mississippi State, like a Wake Forest, for example. I think those are two schools that really they jump off the page because I feel like that's a good concentration of guys are from those schools specifically. But I mean, obviously moving forward, this is the second half of the season coming up, and it starts, in the month of July and that doubleheader against Amsterdam. But the rivalry series, by the way, I want to talk about this with the Diamond Dogs. You've seen them and beat them twice at their place. And on July 3rd, this is the first time we get them on our home field. I mean, it's going to be different. Diamond Dogs fans being the closest rival to us, being 35 or so minutes away, they're going to bring some fans out there, and they're going to be a little hungry knowing that, you kind of stole a couple games from it at their place. But, what's the mindset going to be wanting to protect that home field against Murnane against a rival like them?
Every time we go with the fans are always loud, they always cheer on their own team. It's insane. When I played first half at their house, the bleachers are right beside me. Super loud, and it really is obnoxious. So.
Yeah, they're clanging on the bleachers,
they stomp on the bleachers the whole 9.
Yeah, and they're gonna do that the whole.
They hear you now, so
and they're gonna do that. I'm warning you right now because I've seen it for years. They're gonna be banging on those bleachers for all 9 in Murnane, and I feel like those bleachers are a lot louder at our yard. But I think another thing is, we've proven ourselves in Murnane. Very hard to beat us here, but this road stretch that you have coming up, you got a bunch of road games in a row, including going to Socrates to play a doubleheader. You got Boonville Saturday and Tuesday also, and then I think Glens Falls. Between that but obviously when it comes to playing on the road, it's a lot tougher to play on the road, and it's tougher to bring your energy level up when obviously environment isn't as energetic in those respective ballparks. So what do you think the biggest challenge is going to be with that long road stretch?
I feel like we just gotta come together as a team, not maybe come together as stay together how we be doing now. You know what I'm saying? So you can pick each other up when you're at a waiting.
Yeah, and obviously, maintaining composure in those type of games.
Yeah, maintaining composure, the long away games are always long drive, you stay kind of tired. You just have to go and stay focused, what we've been doing. It's been working out.
It most certainly has. Now, down the stretch, obviously, this is in the grand scheme of things, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And so far, halfway through-ish, and you guys got a solid lead on Batavia. But the funny thing is, we don't see Batavia at all during the regular season, which is a little unusual considering they're in our own division. But it's whatever. But in order to keep the pace you're going at, what are the biggest keys to that?
For what?
To keep the biggest key to keep the pace that you're going at this season.
Just stay together. pretty much, and keep doing what we're doing, and like keep believing in ourselves. Cause like the winning streak is good, but like we're gonna lose eventually.
That's just baseball.
It's just baseball. So like after we lose, we gotta just come out the next day ready to go.
Yeah, it's all about short-term memory. You gotta have a memory like a goldfish, not an elephant.
Exactly. We just have to keep playing, keep doing what we're doing. Everything's good. We just have fun out here.
Yeah, that's pretty. I feel like that's why we're winning so much. Cause like everybody's having so much fun. It doesn't matter if you're like sitting today and playing tomorrow, or playing today and sitting tomorrow. Like everybody, like from teachers all the way to like us, everybody's always loud.
I don't think I could have said that any better. So by the way, I got some couple personal questions for you. So Edwin, for you, the description I got of you before you arrived here, that quote, you were like a big teddy bear. And I mean, how much of that is would you characterize that for yourself, or would you have a better description to like how would you best summarize yourself as a person?
Yeah, that's me. I'm a big guy, but like once you get to know me, I'm really good. I'm really just laughing all the time. I'm enjoying being around people.
And for you, Chris, I mean, because I've gotten to know you through your walk-up songs and all that, but I mean, you got a wide. I mean, you listen to a lot, but at the same time, I came to learn, growing up, like me, you like pro wrestling, man, and
I used to be a huge fan. I used to be a huge fan so much I used to get in trouble with my mom because I used to jump in the bed like the WWE like a cage. One time I broke my leg, and then.
Oh my God. And I mean, if you were doing the high flying stuff, I mean, I kind of got an idea of who your favorites might have been growing up, but I mean, who were your favorites growing up?
Name them and I'll say.
I mean, the first guy I think was a high flyer, Jeff Hardy.
That's one.
I mean, the Dead Man's Transcendental. I mean, you literally have his American Badass theme as one of your walk-ups, so I feel like Undertaker's got to be up there for you. And then, ooh man, I feel like if I could give you a third, I mean, I feel like John Cena's got to be up there.
But I like John Cena, but
he's not.
He's not. He's personal for me.
Right.
It was so cold.
Okay.
Last night. Jeff Hardy. And then who's another one?
Triple H. Randy Orton.
I mean, they were villains back then. I mean, Randy, he legit, he hit a. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think in a match against, I'm pretty sure. Actually, no, it might have been against Mr. Kennedy, I think. But he tore something in his shoulder. He was supposed to be out a year, and he came back in 3 months. Not too far from where you're, because he came back in the Garden.
Yeah.
I mean, Royal Rumble, man. I mean, but I mean, you don't gotta come. I mean, you can think about it for the rest of the interview. If you got that fifth, chime in. But
I got y'all thinking about it right now.
All right. I mean, so, and I gotta ask about your walk-ups. I didn't even know, because when you gave me yours, I saw Wu-Tang with. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then when I looked it up, I'm like, oh, we got this from TikTok. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So I mean, I feel like that's unorthodox, but for you, I mean, as I got to know you, obviously it's got to be par for the course, and then obviously the infusion of Hispanic music, Trente Siete and El Goba. So yeah. I mean, my brother was a double major in college. One of those majors happened to be Spanish. I was pretty good in Spanish in high school too. So I mean, for you, I mean, Hispanic music's a must, but I mean, Wu-Tang with it. I mean, where did that come from?
I came from actually I'm only on TikTok and Wu-Tang with it. I know a lot of people come in, a lot of kids too. So I put that was my first, to get the people involved too,
Oh yeah.
Sometimes we come to the ball game, sometimes it's long, but trying to get the people and the fans involved.
Oh yeah, and I feel like you got to look back to your dugout and see guys like Avery Lee doing that dance with you. I mean, it's got. They're trying to lock you into it at bat, but you just got to giggle at something like that.
Yeah, they'll be dancing every time the song goes on. I know that dance bothers me. Even in the clubhouse, they kept us dance song.
Oh, and by the way, I mean, considering the presence we're building on TikTok, I mean, I know you were in one, I know, I feel like everybody's gotten involved, including Bryce Brownlee, Army guy, but now he's TikTok guy, Bryce Brownlee now, I guess you can call him that. But I mean, just the social media interaction and all that. I mean, it's got to be great to have that kind of platform for more people to see the kind of guy, not just on the field but off the field too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great. I personally haven't been on TikTok. I love camera shot.
It's again, when it comes, some people are extroverted, some people are introverted. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I mean, even when your stat line's getting out there and seeing the fun that you're having and the winning that you're doing. I mean, obviously to have the extra platform of more people seeing you, not just in Utica, but just around the country because it's one of the premier summer college leagues in the country. I mean, that's got to be something that you wake up for in the morning knowing that you have another opportunity to prove yourself.
Very honestly.
Now, I mean, obviously, when it comes to anything, I know the ultimate purpose of summer college ball is to stay in season, get your reps in. But for me, knowing I've been in this for 8 years and I still haven't won a ring yet, and I want a ring like I need air to breathe. All right. So for you, I don't think it's to that extent, but obviously there's that. Yeah, there's got to be that incentive of wanting to come here and win a championship. Is you can get better.
Not a lot. The ultimate goal is always winning and getting yourself better. But if I'm about to be here for 2 months, I gotta leave for something. So I obviously want to win too. Maybe not see your 8 years of waiting for the thing, but I still want.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, obviously, when you're playing college ball, you want to do that. But summer college, I mean, hell, you might not ever come back to this place, but to have a ring to show for it, and obviously, those memories are going to come back years after.
Of course.
And I mean, for you, E, I mean, what can you say about just the idea of a month from now? Leaving, I mean, granted, the rings are going to take some time to make, but knowing, being able to call yourself a champion a month from now.
Not really. Doing it for you too. Could you agree?
I mean, again, I've been with this team since, I'll tell you right now, the first summer I was working here, I was doing broadcasting for the first couple of years, my first year. And I told you guys a story about how Cedric Mullins was here.
Yeah.
But the circumstances, the owner at the time being a real cheapskate, putting them in the dorms at the local community college and with no AC, they were extremely demoralized, and they only ended up going 9-36. They really, because I've seen this place at its worst. So, and the build-up, man, that's why I want to win a ring as badly as I do. Not to mention, 16 we lost in the championship series, and we had an even better team in 19. But we got shocked in the first round by Adirondack, aka now Boonville. So there's revenge on the mind. I think, trust me, I want to win a ring as badly. But I gotta ask also the sheer determination, the wanting to win. I feel like that's universal in that clubhouse. But I mean, I can draw the parallels to the 2016 team because they had that same will to win. Maybe you guys could be taking that up a notch, one-upping them, but. Speak to what that wanting to win and that need to win really is like in that clubhouse every single day.
I feel like when we come in the clubhouse, we get a different game, we expect to win. Not from the coaches to us, from us to us. If we play our game, we expect ourselves to win. To be honest, it always comes down to just having fun because Brady made a great catch to save the game.
Yeah, if he doesn't catch that,
the blast like this.
Yeah,
I've seen a great play.
Exactly. I mean, if he doesn't catch that, that game still goes on, and we're going to be tied at the very least.
Yeah.
So I mean,
save the game, I think.
Oh yeah, and even you got vets like yourselves, and then down to the younger guys, high school kids, go to Kentucky Durand and Schramm and Ryan Cook, Brandon Peterson, but. Even for the younger guys, that will to win like that, You don't really see that in guys that young and throughout every single player on a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these young guys, they like to play, they like to win, you know. Like when you get out there, like you gotta like trust in your team. Like you put the trust in them, like they're gonna you know. Especially two of the big spots, like they want to succeed, they want to do good. So you carry that belief in you. You know.
Absolutely. Now, for you as fielders, I mean, what's it like having a pitching staff that just goes out there for the most part and just shoves night in and night out?
Easy for us. Easy for us. We don't gotta do nothing. We gotta do the minimum.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. On the whole pitching
Just
staff.
going out and going to fly back in the dugout. Just feel amazing instead of going out and being there for like 20, 15 minutes.
And like,
And
yeah,
then get like a 5-minute inning, 9 pitches. Like yesterday, Edwin Tavarez like 6, 7 pitches in 1 inning.
I mean, that's that is really hard to come by. I'll tell you what, I actually saw in my second year a guy who got out of it 1, 2, 3 pitches, done.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would love to see that, but I mean, just the depth too. I mean, Evan Esch obviously stands out because he's the reigning PGCBL pitcher of the week, but Jack Supfer, teammate at St. Thomas, been shoving as well. And then you get it down like Brandon Peterson, Utica's own. I mean, he's been a revelation. I mean, I think he really got his confidence up probably in that exhibition against those Mohawk Valley Buffaloes, and then at Newark. I mean, he had 4 perfect innings, and you guys had a no-hitter going for a while. I mean, if you guys are good hitters and the lineup's deep, but if anything's going to win us a ring, and I feel like you two will second this, it's going to be the pitching.
Yeah. Like BP, like he's just a high school kid. So you can see like he kind of like he matures on down. Like he knows what he's doing. He has that fire in him that he wants to compete. He wants to do good. I love that kid. He's great to watch. And Zach too. That's a great pitcher. All the pitchers. It's just fun to watch. They do so good. And they blow my mind how good they are. They always attack the zone. They're not scared to go after nobody. They will get you out there. Always try to win the battle.
Oh, 100%. And by the way, I got to ask also, I mean, Ash, 3 home starts. He's only given up 1 run across 18 innings here at Murnane. But what stands out to me, by the way, even though we didn't get him the home opener, I mean, for you guys, and I know if anyone from the dugout starting this chant when I do, the taco chants on 2 strikes for these free tacos, I mean, I got to know. What's that pop like when you get that 3rd strike?
The whole dugout goes insane. The whole stadium goes insane. Get every taco. Who doesn't like free food?
I mean, food does taste better when it's free.
Yes, it does.
But so last thing I'll leave you guys with. I mean, what's the biggest takeaway you're gonna leave when you guys do eventually leave this place when the summer's over? What's going to be the biggest takeaways that you guys have, from a developmental standpoint? Well, as a player, as a person too, but the memories that you're going to be taking from this. I mean, we're only halfway through the season, but there's already so many memories that you guys are going to be taking with you back to college, and then obviously with the rest of your life, with whatever you do, whether that could continue your baseball career and beyond.
For me, it's the memories and the friendships that we made. Because I may never see this kid again until 5 years from now. You remember that one summer we played together, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? So the friendships and the memories. Now I have friends at pretty much every school in the country. Or a lot of schools in the country.
Yeah, I mean, and basically they have those friendships and all that, literally coast to coast, if you will. So, E, what do you got?
Yeah, the friendships here too, with the staff. How close you get to the staff, from Matt, the club manager, he's freaking great. He treats us so good. Juice, Doug, Chris, Maya, they're all great. Everybody's so friendly, welcome. They make you feel welcome here. Make you feel at home. So those memories and feeling safe and you're so far away from home. You call it your second home because they treat you so good.
Well, and obviously we're so honored and privileged just to have you two here. I mean, I can already tell you two are just great representatives of the organization, and like the winning and all that. I mean, to eventually come out of here with at least a division title and going to the championship series. But it would even mean more. I know for me, what do you want to show for it other than getting better in your games? It's a little bling on the finger, you know what I mean? But guys, thank you so much for your time. I know y'all got to get out there and hit your BP and all that, and get ready for tonight. But again, just keep doing you, and the rest is gonna take care of itself. Again, thanks for the time, boys, and yeah, of course, and Sox are hot, let's stay hot, and obviously let's win a ring out of it. So that does it for the Soxcast this week. For Edwin Tavarez, Chris Fernandez, I'm Tim Betts signing off. Yeah, might as well throw up the U while I'm at it, but so all for the U, baby, true to the U. So next week Will Tucker's gonna be my guest. So again, to wrap this up for Edwin Tavarez and Chris Fernandez, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next week, and again, come out to the ballpark, see these guys stay hot.